as usual, to have you on the breakfast show. But before we get into our discussion this morning, it's Black History Month. I learned Black History Month when I was JJC. Johnny just come to London.
Really?
Yes, I didn't know about Black History Month in Africa because all I saw was black people every day. So Black History Month probably was every day. What does Black History Month mean to you?
Well, for me, like you said, I never really reflected on it, quite frankly. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the honest truth. I didn't really know the history or the genealogy of whether it's a celebrations or remembrance. But what I know how to do, however, is no matter what happened historically, as Wole Soyinka said, he said, you cannot buy yesterday, no matter how rich you are. He said, but if you work hard today and tomorrow, he said, tomorrow and today is yours. So for me, it's all about empowering people economically, not dwelling on the negativity of the past, but use the past to build for the future.
Okay.
I think that's what it means to me.
Let's get into our discussion.
That is an economic way of answering the question.
Economic way of Black History Month in the economic...
In the money management
in a money management way, in an economic empowerment way. No, we take it, and this is why you're here, and it brings me to my... Yeah, it's the best way. Tommy has actually nailed it there. Tommy, you've nailed it there.
That's just the best way.
Yeah, best way, the economic way of Black History Month. But that brings me to my first question this morning, which is on bad credit and good credit. How does one alleviate bad credit to start with?
Well, I think it's important. I think we have done this program before, but on a smaller scale. But today, just a part 2 of personal credit management. Very recently, I was doing some research in terms of personal debt. You see, there's a gearing ratio of about 80%. What that means in financial terms, you have 20p of your own money, and you're owing 80p to somebody else. That's a lot of debt. Now, this is not only affecting us in the UK, all over the world, but particularly our credit metabolism in the UK is higher than any other in Europe, right? The rate that we consume. A lot of bad credit are out there, and there are a lot of good ones. I think I use the good one as an illustration. If you take a loan or you use your credit card or debit card to invest in an asset-related item, right? It's a good debt. For example, if you use your credit card to buy a holiday, it's a bad debt. If you use it to buy a car, it's a bad debt. If you use it to buy a house, it's a good debt. Why? Well, it's very, very simple. Because when you put that amount of money in a house, guess what happened to the house in due course? You appreciate in value over time. That's what happens. So the moment you are able to create a debt and you put it against an asset that goes up in value, that's a good debt. The illustration I normally use was my own personal case study many, many years ago in the 90s. I wanted to buy a house, right? And I had it in an auction for £29,000. I went to my bank. My bank said, nope, they're not giving me anything. I said, oh, I lost the deposit I put in. Then I would think, I said, what am I going to do? Yeah, as an accountant, I said, okay, I know what I'm going to do. Let me go and apply for a credit card, which I did. I applied for about 4 different credit cards. And they all came in within the period that, I was due to complete. I took out all the money from my credit card, about £25,000. Put in my deposit I had at the time, my savings. I generated about £30,000. I took it to my solicitor in a check. That time you don't do bank transfer, you do a bank draft. I took it to the solicitor. I said to the solicitor, here he has your money for the completion. Then he sat there and he said, how did you get all this money? I said, don't worry about it. He said, no. anti-money laundering. I said, okay. I said, I show him all the slip where I would draw the money from over the counter or for my credit card. Then he sat there, he said to me, you're crazy. Why are you so desperate to buy this place? I said, no, I'm not desperate. I am keen. I want to buy it because it's an asset. I said, over time, we'll appreciate. I still have the property in the memory of that very conversation. Oh. Do you know how much value it is today? Let the viewer hear it. Over £400,000.
Wow.
Right?
And how much did you get it?
I got it for about £29,000.
Wow.
All the money I raised at the time was about £21,000 credit card. Right? Yes, I pay a little bit of interest over time, over 6 months, a year. Then I pay them off. But today you cannot compare £21,000 with interest with £400,000. So any amount you spend on asset, that's why it baffles me when I see people spending their credit card, they go on holiday with it, and they haven't got the means of actually paying it back. They spend a lot of credit card doing their wedding, yeah, and they get into financial reversal, into financial fiasco. They use their credit card to spend lavishly on birthday party. Yeah, that would take them about 5, 6, 7, 8 months to pay back. Why don't you put it into an asset that will appreciate and you can actually offset? You can trade off the interest, the increase in interest with, see, this one we're having this program. To say to people, yeah, we're not advising you, but we just provide you with a lot of nuggets, a lot of information that will help you to plan your finances in a better way, in a more constructive way, so that you can build what I call financial capacity for yourself and your family.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it's done.
I'm just saying, well, that's bad credit.
Yeah.
What about perseverance and maintenance of good credit? How do I maintain good credit with that credit card that I have? Or if I'm on cryptocurrency, how do I maintain that good credit? What does it take?
Well, I mean, alleviating your credit, your debt. We're talking about debt, personal debt management here. Warren Buffett once said, he said there are 2 things you can do in order to generate money. Number 1, reduce your expenses. Okay? That's one way. And the other one is increase your sales. But for people like you and I who are working in a job, increase your salary. But he said the first one is easier to manage than the latter one. It's very simple. If you are, let's say you want to go to your boss, you said to your boss, I want to pay rise today, and I must get it. What do you think your boss will tell you?
Get out of my office.
Well, I said to you, there are 2 entrances into this building, the door or the window. Make a choice.
The window.
What about if I'm of value to the company? If he loses me, it's going to affect the returns and profit of his business.
Well, what you got to appreciate is, say, there's always a cap our employer, they place on us, right? No matter what you think you do, because no one is totally indispensable.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
They can manage. You see, the analogy I use is this. If you put in a glass, you put in, yeah? This is you, shaking the glass. The moment you're out of the scene, what happens?
It stops.
Settles. So nobody can think that they are totally indispensable, and without them, you can shake, the system, but the moment you're out of the system, somebody else comes along. So there's a limit. So salary demand increase has a lot of limitations. But when you come to your expenses, you can say, oh, okay, do I really need that Sky News when I'm paying £100 a month? I don't really need it. Okay, do I really need to go to that birthday party, buy special shoes?
And buy a Ashwebi.
Yeah, or the Ashwebi, or the High Life, we'll say it in Ghana.
Yeah.
But the reality is, fundamentally, you need to be able to differentiate what you need from what you want.
Yeah.
It's inability of many of us to be able to differentiate that. That's why you have that 80%, debt level. And if you are 80% in debt, indebtedness, if you're already in 80% in debt with somebody else, you're almost getting to the critical point, right? To the point that you cannot even cope. You have to bring in the bailies, to do the IVA, individual voluntary arrangement with all your creditors. And that's a bad situation to be in. So what we are trying to say to people here, yes, two ways to generate money is to save your costs and generate income. Then with income, with salary, I think I mentioned this one before, you can actually, like you mentioned about the cryptocurrency. There are other home-based businesses, I think we mentioned this about 3 weeks ago, which people can engage in while they're working on their 9 to 5. They can equally spend an hour evening, 2 hours evening to contact their friend to say, look, yes, there's a job here. If you, just going back to cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, for example, last week when we were here, the one to me was here 2-3 weeks ago, it was 2,500 a coin. Do you know how much it is today?
3.
Yeah, 3,500.
Wow, so £1,000 extra.
£1,000 extra within 10 days. So if you're trading, and many people are thinking they just had to buy the whole Bitcoin. They had to buy a whole £3,500 or £4,000. No, you don't. You can even start with £100. That £100 will give you a fraction of the Bitcoin. You know the beauty of this?
Yeah.
Let's say you bought it 2 weeks ago for £2,500. Your £2,500 today worth $3,500. So if you want to sell it today, the trade of the profit you generated within a week is that much.
I think the Bitcoin analysis should be another topic next week.
Yeah.
Because it's very sensitive and people really need to understand how it works.
People need to understand it,
Yeah.
but then that's why we have to wrap up the show now on that note, because it's been an outstanding breakfast show with you, Sonny Ahonsa. Well, that's it from the Ben Breakfast Show. Don't forget to catch the Ben Breakfast Show on Thursday between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. And we are back next week between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.
Yes.
And sit back and watch the Pauline Long Show this afternoon at 1 p.m. I'm Chinode Sengalumboy. Enjoy your week.
I'm Tommy Bade Joko. Whatever you do, be good. We're signing out now. And also follow us on all social media handles at Tommy Bade Joko and
at
Sipilisty
JC Chinode on Facebook and John Chinode on Instagram. Or you can always call the studio if you want to talk to us on a personal level.
Yes. Okay, then. Have a wonderful day. Be good. Bye.